What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to yet another video. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about, all the stuff that has happened to me over the course of this last period of time that I know that you guys haven't been there for, or that you guys were kind of like informed about, but at the same time, I really couldn't have recorded any more than what I was recording. So I was on the trip that I was at a couple weeks ago. It just really was something to me that was really completely different from what my normal day-to-day was like for the past 5 years. So that being said, let's kind of get into this video. So when I was back in, let's say, 2016, I used to be in a band. And when I was in that band, I didn't know what I wanted to do if the band ever died. And so, long story short, I was living in this apartment, and I was rooming with a really good friend of mine, and we were doing day-to-day jobs. For some reason whatsoever that came across me, one of these random days, I decided to download YouTube onto my phone. And the reason being was because we didn't have any source of internet connection. We didn't have satellite, we didn't have DirecTV, we didn't have anything like that whatsoever. We just had our own phones to supply us with entertainment and internet connection. No Wi-Fi, nothing. What happened was I just went to my room one of these days and I laid down in bed and I was like, man, for some reason I have to download YouTube. I don't want to get caught up in this whole YouTube video watch phase of my life because there wasn't any TikTok, there wasn't any Instagram Reels or Facebook Reels or whatever they call it. I just got caught up exploring YouTube. And one of the first videos that I watched was this video on how to make your iPhone cinematic and comparative between a DSLR camera or a mirrorless camera, I forget whatever the case was, comparative to an iPhone. And it was possible, that was the first time that it was ever possible to really compare between something that you put in your pocket versus a heavy, bulky DSLR camera. Well, I watched this video, and it got me really inspired. I watched even more videos after that on what cinematic footage looks like in comparison to what your iPhone shoots and things like that. And I started diving in, and it just kept going and going, and I never stopped. Because I always asked that question of why does it look different than the footage on my phone? Why does it look different than a certain way of filming? And I kept asking that question because I was really inspired by whoa, this phone has the capability of filming almost in the same fashion as a high-end camera, but why? I always ask the question of why. From whenever I can remember, from when I was young, I always remember asking why. My mom would always tell me to this day, oh, you were that kid that always asked why on top of the answer. And I kept asking why. And from then on, this is where I'm at. I'm sitting in front of the people that have watched me for years on end, or weeks on end, or days on end, or hours on end, or whatever it is now for you. Maybe you're a new subscriber. And now I'm here explaining to you guys how it all kind of really came to be. And I'm still going at it. And that's the thing, is this will never stop. My question of why will never end. Because there's always another question to the answer. So I was in a band during that time frame of 2016, 2017, all the way up until 2000, I believe it was 18 or 19. And we went on tour. We recorded an album. We went on tour with the album. And we traveled. And it was a lot of fun. Very much of an experience for me to get out of my comfort zone and get out into the world and express music, express my word on what I thought within music. And I did that. And there was a point in time where it started to all end. But something during that point of time of it ending, something new was also growing as well. And that was what we're doing right now. We're filming. We're explaining things. We're showcasing real life scenarios. And that's what I came across the beginning of the end. And that was 2015 or 2016. From then, I forgot about kind of what I was doing with the phone and learning about camera stuff. I was still learning here and there, but in the background. It wasn't really anything that was profound. But I was learning. I was learning quickly. And I was still doing the band and writing music for the band and moving from apartment to apartment and to eventually a house. And right when we started to, I guess, get a grasp of what we wanted to sound like as a band, that's when it all kind of fell apart. I think it was back in 2017 is where it all started to fall apart once I moved into the house. And once I moved into the house, it was a different type of vibe. We weren't used to each other being around 24/7, living under the same roof and things like that. But at the same time, I did feel a yearning to film more and more and more and more and more. It was like more of a escape than anything. And not to say that the band wasn't doing it for me or anything like that, but I think I wanted to escape the reality that I was in because it wasn't something that I truly desired to be in anymore. And then from that point on, I remember playing our last show, and it was in our hometown. And I remember playing the last song and saying, this is it. Like, this is the end to this era of my music career as I knew it. But I was filming throughout that whole entire time. And that was something that I just still didn't realize during that period of time. That what I was doing in the background the whole time was something that I just needed to get out and create and make known. And somewhere down the line, a little bit after that, I came to realize that no, this is exactly what you've wanted to do. That's been held in the background for this many years. For all those years, this is exactly what you've actually wanted to do. And it was kind of hurt a little bit because I put so much effort into something that was at the forefront, which was music at the time. And I remember thinking, man, like, what do I do if this band ever stops? If we ever quit? Do I have something to fall back on? What do I do? How do I restart myself? How do I start from the beginning? And from where? But all along, I just knew when I came to the realization, it just hit me one day, and I was like, I don't have to restart. I just have to press record. And that's all I really have to do. Because I've been doing it for all this time. Recording the band, recording the background experience of being in a band, making goofy videos with the band. But I was always filming. And that's what really made sense to me, was to capture moments. So when I came across this video circa 2015-16 or whatever I said, I remember it being like, oh wow, I'm inspired by this video, but I don't know why. But years later down the road, after realizing, I understood why. It was like a dream in the making, almost. A dream upon a dream that was dying. Which is really odd, but it just made sense. And I just kept going for it, and I remember starting my photography business a couple years later, and just putting my foot down and doing research on how to start a business, how to start this, how to start what I want to do. And it started to kind of unfold a little bit more and more and more. And with anything, you're just really hesitant to do those types of things, right? And it's terrifying because it's literally starting a new job under a completely different description. It's not music. It's something creative, but it's not music. And how do I do this? I have no experience. I have no resume to make this happen whatsoever. But I kept going for it. I kept doing some online research. I kept adding on to my repertoire of camera gear, investing in a laptop, hard drives, memory cards, you name it, whatever you need, lenses, microphones, this camera right here. I mean, man, like the list goes on. Lights, and it was all worth it. Because now I'm in a position where I'm like, holy cow. I've done all of this, and I'm here now with the job that I have now, with the gear that I have now, with the experience that I have now, all because I put my foot down and said, you know what? I can't be afraid of this. I can't be afraid of what I really want to do and really what I want out of doing what I truly want to do. And there's no one to stop me. And I've made my mistakes. I've made huge mistakes. But those mistakes are beneficial because you have to learn from those things to get to a higher point, a higher step, or higher set of processes that allow you to do even greater things. And it's just really crazy to think how far in such a short period of time of where I'm at now. And you know, I really couldn't have done it without people spreading the word. You guys spreading the word and growing this channel and growing this idea, this identity that I've put out into the world ever since that period of time when I started this channel. And it's wild. It's really wild that like I'm at this point in time to be saying this, because it's just crazy how much like you put in, and the output is so great, and it's only going to get greater as long as you continue to put forth that type of the type of energy, right? So I just wanted to kind of make this video as a, I guess, a thank you for supporting this channel and supporting my ideas, my views, and what I pursue to do continually. And I'm here and now, and it's just, it's wild. It's a wild ride. It's cool to take a pause and realize and, you know, be grateful for what you've done for yourself. And I really hope that you guys do the same for yourself as well. Because that's the best thing that you can do. Is be able to do what you want. And be happy about the things that you've accomplished that benefit so many others out there. And it's speechless. So, I'm going to end this video. Thanks for watching. It's been real. Keep it real. You know what it is. Deuces.